Anthony Lolli, investor, developer, entrepreneur. Son to Nicholas and Gladys Lolli. His father, Nicholas, was the youngest of 5 siblings whose family immigrated from Bologna, Italy. He lied about his age at 17 to enlist in the Navy and found himself at the tail end of World War II. He then went to college on the GI Bill and later became a public school teacher. He fathered his first and only child, Anthony, in 1977 at the age of 50. When Anthony was 5 years old, his father began moonlighting as a street entertainer and doing what came to be known by the locals as photo with the parrot. This is where Anthony began to learn business principles and help form his view about earning money. Gladys Lolli left Ecuador for the U.S. in 1967 with $40 in her pocket, and $20 of that went to pay off the customs officer to stamp her visa when she arrived. She knew no one and found herself living in an abandoned building with other immigrants from all over South America. She lived a hard life working in a variety of sweatshops. After making a few friends in the sweatshop, she was referred to someone who helped her become a home attendant, which would eventually help her put herself through beauty school. She worked for an elderly lady named Mrs. Zappi. Mrs. Zappi took Gladys underneath her wing and instilled life lessons and showed her how she raised her 5 boys, of which 2 became doctors, 2 lawyers, and 1 a college professor. Years later, as fate would have it, Nicholas would take a part-time job during his time off in the summer as an insurance broker down the block from a popular bar in Sunset Park, where he became friends with the person that would eventually introduce him to his future wife, Gladys. Even though during his adolescent years, Anthony and his parents lived in a 1-bedroom shack, he wasn't aware of the lack that his family had. The love and support he was given made him feel they had all they needed, until the age of 6, when Anthony and his mother would make frequent stops at high-end retail stores, such as Saks Fifth Avenue and Bloomingdale's, where Gladys would try on clothing and perfume but could never actually afford to purchase anything. On one of these trips, Anthony saw a waterproof watch that he really wanted, and pestered his mother about buying it for him, and he asked her, "Why won't you buy this for me?" And Gladys, with tears in her eyes, decided to tell him the truth. She simply said, "Because we can't afford it." Young Anthony responded with, "Well, one day I'm going to make us rich, and we'll be able to afford anything, and we're going to live in a white mansion, and you'll have a white limousine with a chauffeur, and we'll take it to the nicest places." Gladys would later tell Anthony that she didn't want the white limousine, but did still want the white mansion.
Up next, see how Anthony got his start in real estate, how he set his goals, and how he learned the business. From being the top salesperson to running an office and ultimately opening his own business that later became one of the most successful companies in New York City.